What are you guys making?
I'll tell you what, you start that end, I'll hold this in.
We're making the wall framing now.
What's heavy?
It's white pine.
Oh, it's pine.
White pine.
Really?
I was actually scared to use it, but it doesn't matter.
Not inspected.
It don't matter. It's actually fine. It's totally fine. White pine studs. 2x4s, not 3.5.
Just
by
like
inch
you
and a
used to
half.
see. You're still gonna have to cut it.
Oh.
So our platform is done, and I'm just wondering, we spent most of the morning just making the studs, right?
Yeah.
I mean, basically taking these huge boards and making studs. It was free material, but I was just doing some maths to figure out we saved maybe $400, like 40 studs, $10 a stud for a 2x6 stud right now. There was like 4 of us working on this. Does that add up?
Probably not.
Or probably not. So that's something, maybe we'll talk about more of that in the video of, you know, was it actually cheaper to have free material? Uh-oh, now.
I just couldn't help but overhear you talking about
I think your maths didn't add up on the free material.
Well, you know, to have a successful YouTube video, you have to have a really good looking thumbnail.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
You got to have a really good title to your series.
Yep.
And I was thinking about it, so I thought we could name this one the most inefficient, labor-intensive, slowest way to build a barn.
Not for free. You thought it was free. I thought it was free. That's what it's gonna be. Hey, what's something stupid we just did?
We put all of our wood where we're gonna build a wall.
Right. This is not a big platform, so now we're having to move it all back over there. Yet another snag here with this material we're using that was free is that 3-inch long framing nails will barely go through it into the stud. These are plates. You have like 4-inch nails somewhere? 5-inch?
No.
So I don't know what, I mean, we might have to just tack them and then toenail them.
You can toenail on the front, actually. Well, on the
Okay.
edge. On the edge.
All right, well, that was just something to note. And I'm just tick marking the center of 16s here. Because it's, I mean, we can eyeball center, and we got a super wide stud. Right?
You got like 4, you got 4 super wide studs.
Yeah. These are stiff, and they're not bowing down to straighten on the studs with these nails. It's just pulling. So I'm going Big Daddy, like 4-inch screw, one of them at least, to try to straighten it. This might be a 6-inch screw. I don't know. Ow! Come on now. Ah! Yup.
Oh, it worked.
I think that worked just fine. I need about 1,000 of those now. Is it just me or Jamie forget to lay out jacks on the wall? He forgot how to lay out walls.
Dude, we don't need jacks on anything like this. You just put studs in, that's
All right.
So that's almost 6, that's a little over 6 feet there between the, I think that's enough room.
Okay.
So let's make it 6'2".
You pretty good on this thing?
I mean, I think so.
Okay. 6 feet?
So.
Let's pause for a second. I want to count how
Okay.
many nails you're having to use in one
Well,
of these.
I mean, normally you would use 3.
Okay, so we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8,
9,
9, 10.
10.
So we're losing on the.
I got one thing to say. If that was Rare Eye, oh my gosh, dude. He would have lost his mind. What in the world? You put my nails in?
Who? Who are you talking about?
I only got 5 in mine.
There you go.
Oh,
Golden boy. No, you're supposed to put 15.
I mean, of all the things that we could be struggling with, I didn't think
Fasteners are too short.
having. Oh no!
We need like some timber locks or some 4-inch like big old spikes.
Is there a nail gun that shoots like a 6-inch nail?
No.
Because that would be
Well, maybe.
perfect.
Hey, those were all leftover nails though, right?
Yeah.
We didn't buy any of them.
Yeah.
I mean, we bought them,
Well, at some point in time, yeah.
but not
We've been
recently.
saving them for this.
What about like in Arlo's day when this stuff was 4x2? What'd they do then?
Right.
I think they just had giant nails.
Railroad spikes?
I
No,
think so.
what they did back then is they actually just nailed 1x12s on and used that as the wall, and they didn't.
Oh.
Don't you? Haven't you toured one of those houses down here that had no studs? It was just 1x12s.
Well,
cut boards.
mine had studs, but no sheathing.
All right, ready? Yeah, set, go.
And Ray's out.
Oh, that's nice.
Ray tapped out.
All right, who's holding it?
I got it.
Somebody?
I got it. I got it.
So if I do 6 feet,
I think you need to go back
there
to
again.
welding.
I don't know if you're as good with that hammer as you were your other one.
all right, so we're gonna. Remember how we had a plan that was gonna look kind of like this?
Right.
Well, you can forget all that.
Okay.
See, based on what the pile of material has given me, I'm thinking I'm gonna change the plan.
Okay.
All right. So, well, let me show you what I might have.
Jono, he's like, just be quiet. I'm waiting to saw this board.
What?
Hold on, Jono.
Wait.
It'll just be 30 minutes.
Okay. Well, okay. Here's the big problem. Let's talk about the big problem. I don't have rafters long enough.
Okay.
I don't. And I was gonna glue some up and make some staggered, glued up, nailed up, screwed up,
Yeah.
all that. And then I decided against it because I had some more 2x material that'd make good rafters, but they're too short.
Okay.
So what are you gonna do? Well, we had this idea here. You can see right here the steel beam.
Uh-huh.
We were actually gonna put a steel beam in the center
Yep.
of the span
Break the span.
and put a little plate there. See, I drew a little metal plate to bolt it through.
So what's the plan now?
Well, so instead of doing that, I decided against that for a couple of reasons. We don't need to talk about it. All right, so I started drawing on pencil and paper here. All right, so what we're probably gonna do, and I just drew a really quick sketch. By the way, I drew that while we were driving to dinner in the car. If you wonder why it's all squiggly, then don't worry about that.
You were actually driving with a pencil and
Okay,
paper
I think
you
this is the one we want to see.
No, I
right
wasn't
here.
driving. I wasn't.
That's the one
I
we
wasn't
wanna see.
driving. Okay, no, there's two though, and I think I've already decided which one to do, but I want to make it feel like you get an essay in it too. All right, so there's two different roof pitches. Now the maximum rafter length I have is 12 feet.
Okay.
So I started at the back and I went 12 feet and to see how far to the front I could get. And then we're gonna do this kind of like little steeper, shorter pitch in the front.
8, 12, 4, 12.
So that's a 4 and an 8, and then this is a 3 and a 6.
You know what? My
what?
answer is
No.
I don't care. It's
Okay.
your mower barn. Let's do
All
it.
right, we're gonna do the 4 and the 8.
Okay.
And I also drew two types of siding. We got the 6-inch lap siding, and then the board and batten vertical. And I think we're gonna do that. It looks less busy.
Okay.
See how it's like less
I
lines?
see that.
What is this?
Well, we've reached a hold up here because Jamie and Arlo are doing some meeting of the minds that
What is this?
So they drew out the roof system full scale on the floor to make sure that the lengths of the pieces are lengths that we actually have.
Why
See
is
that, Ray?
this? Why
Way down
is
here.
this? I thought
Yeah,
you were
we
doing
see
just
it.
straight 2
No,
by
he
12.
changed it. It's gonna go like that. He didn't have rafters long enough to do it in one shot because we're not buying material. We're just making the material for twice the cost.
So this thing's not going to be a shed roof.
No,
It's going to be an
it's
actual...
going to be asymmetrical, peak. Like it's going to go way up and then a little down. Different pitches. And they did. They spent look, they got the ridge is like 26 degree miter cut there, it looks like. All this stuff.
I'm out of here.
And we're just jacking around talking about how to get our hat to fit the best. They'll figure. I don't want to get in on it. It's
around.
Jamie's bar. I don't want to get in on it, so he's gonna do it.
You need to step in though, bro. You need to have him talk some sense.
We can just wait.
Let's take a minute to thank our sponsor for today's video, ZBiotics. ZBiotics Pre-Alcohol Probiotic is a genetically engineered probiotic you drink before drinking alcohol to avoid that rough next morning. PhD scientists invented it because they know the real problem isn't dehydration, it's a toxic byproduct of alcohol, and ZBiotics Pre-Alcohol Probiotic is the only product that breaks it down. Just remember to drink responsibly and get plenty of rest too. Last weekend I went on a trip to Charleston with my college roommates. It's our annual guys weekend and we usually stay out late and have a few drinks, but I took ZBiotics with me and it was really a lifesaver. I was able to get up and do my workout, and when I got home after the weekend, I didn't feel drained like I usually do after staying up several nights in a row like that. So that was awesome. ZBiotics is real science at work. There's no plant extracts, no off-the-shelf ingredients, and they have a 100% money-back guarantee. You can get ZBiotics for yourself for 15% off if you go to zbiotics.com and use my code Perkins at checkout, and I'd recommend getting the 6-pack. It's a great value and you got a few extra to share with your friends. Again, go to zbiotics.com, Z-Biotics/Perkins. There's a link down in our description. Thank you again to Z-Biotics for sponsoring our video. Cheers, guys.
So while we're standing here waiting, we're still getting paid, right?
We're getting paid all the money that he thinks that he's saving on
That's
using
right.
all this wood.
I'm not getting paid at all, so I don't know.
Really?
No. I mean, I'm making videos.
So are we.
Yeah, and getting paid.
And getting paid.
Wait a minute, hang on.
Booyah!
What are y'all making fun of?
Well, you guys were thinking that he couldn't take waiting anymore, so we went over there, see if he could speed you up.
My brain just doesn't let me stand around and do nothing.
I think that came out of a woodworking catalog.
That's a good square. It's a really nice square.
I've got a number on
It's
my
indented, so you're not going to lose them.
board. Hey, did you see it?
Usually I use a speed square to do like a bird's mouth. He's gonna show you how to do it on this. Let me come around to the correct side.
So, because normally we would go with a, 12 inches, and it's a 412.
Okay, so we're running across the edge of the board at 12
yeah,
here,
and it's 4 there.
4 there.
But because I'm like lazy, this is 24. So I just pin it there, and I push this to 8, which is double it, right?
So you're doubling both numbers, so
Yep.
you can go right from the point of
There it is, and then I just come back and set it here, and I mark 4 inches
Yeah.
because that's the width of the plate.
Now,
and
what's critical about this that he hasn't said yet is that you do, if you're doing the outside of the thing here, you do the outside of the thing here, or you do inside.
Yeah, you'll always have it screwed up if you.
Yeah, I've done that before. I mean, I've never done that.
Oh yeah, I've never done it either. That's why I know not to do it. I've never done it.
All right, now let him try.
No, I ain't trying.
Yeah, let's see you do it.
Do that cut.
Now, easy. Let the weight of the saw do the work. That was an interesting way to hold it.
It was very.
Careful.
Now the question is exactly how I'm going to attach all this together.
I don't know.
I don't know.
I'm not saying it now.
What?
Nothing.
He
It's
said
just-
you could have gone and bought 10
Dude,
2x12s.
this saw cuts at an angle.
Is that what it is?
It's way angled. Yeah.
Yeah, we were noticing that on some boards.
Bottomed out at 0. It's angled bad.
I think I dropped that off a roof.
Well, because this cut's way angled, and I cut it with this saw. All this crap I cut was with this saw.
I'm sorry.
Ream.
It's got some adjustments on it somewhere.
A lot of stuff just happened here. We're making this up on the fly. I'm sure you can't tell by watching the video. So we're making a little truss, a baby truss. We're putting little scabs across the connection between the collar tie and the rafter to hold it from spreading. That's the purpose
And you've
of
also
it.
made a full-scale jig on the floor to make sure they're all the same.
I thought, why not? We'll input each piece of material into the jig. That way we got repeatability. They all come out of the jig the exact same shape and size. And if they don't fit in the jig, they get trimmed until they do fit in the jig.
Right.
And now we're gonna start putting these up one at a time. Actually, we should check this one before we make all of them.
Right.
And also, we can't put these scab boards on the side of the truss that goes on this end. If you imagine this one getting lifted up and put
Yeah,
out there,
be on the wrong
the
side.
scab boards will be
Outside
outside.
the
Yeah,
building.
no good, no bueno. So we're gonna start with this one, check the fit, and then we're gonna make, what, 7 of these, 8 of these? It's not that many. It's really heavy, it's oak.
That's why we don't do oak trusses, I guess.
Here you go.
Suckers heavy.
If you take a look at the peak of the truss, you'll notice there are no scab boards holding it together. There are some toe screws, but the reason there's no scabs is because those two members are in compression. They are being forced together as weight is applied to the roof. So there's no chance they could pull away. They will just push tighter to each other.
The scab is really good for pulling away, which is tension.
Yes.
So on a serious note,
Yeah.
why the peak so not centered in one side so much longer than the other?
Well, I actually do have a good reason. Besides the look of it, it's kind of a look. Have you ever seen a garden shed? We built one like that. Remember once for Dr. Zimmerman?
It's a sheddy kind of look.
I like the shed look of it. That's one thing. Also, it's a matter of what lengths of material I have and what numbers. So this 12-foot rafter, that's the longest rafter I have, and I only have enough of them to do one piece of each truss.
Per truss.
Yeah, only one piece per truss.
And then you have
the
some of
rest
these
them,
shorter ones.
Yeah, are like 8 feet or less. And so I can make that. The middle piece is like 8 feet. Those are 8 feet. That's 12. So just the ratio of lengths of material I had available, this type
That
of,
actually makes sense.
this type of truss was a fit. Yeah.
And it looks real sheddy.
Yeah, well, yeah.
It looks sheddy, all right.
Super
Man.
shitty.
Would you say it's sheddy?
Yeah, that's slang for.
We're down to these last 2 trusses, and it seems like it would be a good idea to put one up and then put the other one up. But a good trick that we've learned over the years is that you sort of run out of space. If you try to get one up, then you need room to flip the next one up. There's not room to do it. So a good trick we learned is just to get one in place, slide it over, tack it to an existing truss, and just let it chill for a minute while you get the second one up, put it in place, then untack that one, slide it over, make it easier on yourself. Pro tip.
Well, we ran out of pine for the studs. And even though I have oak that I could use for the studs, I'm really scared of shooting the siding nailer into the oak, right?
gonna work
With
good.
like a 2-inch nail.
Yeah, it's not gonna go in.
Bad. So I do have some poplar, and it's really nice, but it's not thick enough. It's not the same thickness. So I'm just adding a shim here to fill it out to the full thickness. We'll put this to the outside. The siding nails will actually go through that and straight into the solid piece of wood behind it. And I don't think you really notice the rip in the finish. You won't really see it.
Jamie's furring those boards out to the same thickness as these, and the reason it matters is because he decided to do these studs like edgeways, like flat, instead of this way. And the reason we can do that is there's no insulation value needed, and it's not a load-bearing wall, and it'll make it easier with more nailing surface for our 2 pieces of vertical siding. So that's why it needs to be about the same thickness.
On the very ridge.
Bridge, and then, just check your flow and lay it on top of it.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Go ahead and do a layout for it or whatever.
So,
I think it's the first time I stood inside the building today.
Feels nice. Unless you're spinning in circles like I just was.
Dude, that was a lot of ripping.
Yeah.
16-inch.
Hey, thanks for checking out our video today. I hope you enjoyed it, and make sure to check back for the next episode of our barn build coming up soon. And if you've enjoyed the video, please remember to get subscribed, give us a thumbs up, that does help us out. And thanks for building with us. We'll see you on the next one.